Rubin, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under Barack Obama, Democratic strategist, and author of the briefing book on Substack. Joel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
To me, you know, this report got a lot of attention. Oh, they're calling Bibi a madman from within the White House. But to me, what's really notable is President Trump did not tweet about it. He didn't say anything about it. That relationship is what a relationship between allies is supposed to look like. It's not, you know, uncomplicated, but at the end of the day, there is this feeling that this White House and Netanyahu are pulling in the same direction, I would say. Do you agree?
Yeah, a couple of things about this, Batia. First and foremost, this kind of discussion has happened before already in this first 6 months. We saw it on Iran, where there were murmurs that the president was different in his thinking, looking for a nuclear deal from Bibi Netanyahu. Turns out, of course, they were actually playing a game where they were coordinating very closely. And, you know, I think it's always going to be tense. This is not the first president that Prime Minister Netanyahu has agitated, if it is true. This goes back decades. Why? Because he's a patriotic Israeli and he's pushing for Israel's interests. And so, you know, I think clearly, there will always be friction points, but this is not a blow-up like we're being led to believe.
Now, Joel, you've been a Democrat for a long time. A Jewish person, proudly Jewish, pro-Israel. Yeah. There's new polling coming out recently that the majority of Democrats, this is grassroots, now sympathize more with the Palestinians than with Israel. There's a real feeling that the party is now Mamdani's party, AOC's party, especially on an issue like Israel. Where does that leave somebody like you?
Well, to be honest, Batia, it leaves a lot of people like me stranded. People who have been Democrats for their whole careers, their whole lives, very proudly liberal, very proudly Zionist and pro-Israel, looking around and wondering, do we still have a home in this party? Are we still going to be allowed to sit at the table while we also support Israel? There are American Jews who are always at the table in Democratic coalitions, and there still are. But the price now is becoming high. And the price now for entry oftentimes is saying Israel is committing genocide and war crimes and throwing off one's connection to it. I'm not going to do that. I know many people are not like that across the country, but we're all looking around and wondering, is this the moment? Are we being tested in a way where we have to make that choice, which would be very unfortunate for the Democratic Party and, of course, for American Jews?
Well, what's the answer? Is this the moment?
This is getting to be the moment. We are getting there. It is clearly a moment of crisis in the party. It is a crisis moment for the American Jewish community. We have seen a bubbling up of anti-Semitic rhetoric that continues to grow. We've seen attacks against Jewish Americans that have cost lives. And instead of diminishing the hate speech and the incitement, we're now seeing it corroborated in elections. And that is dangerous. And we need moral leadership from our leaders to stem the tide.
So do you see a mass exodus of American Jews from the Democratic Party into the Republican Party?
The question of that is one that depends on the leadership's response. If the leadership of the party and if the same leaders who want to try to tamp down the hate and the incitement that American Jews are feeling in the party, if they don't come to the table and push back on it, we will see a diminishment of Democratic support amongst Jewish Americans.
God bless, Joel. That took a lot of courage.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining me.